Hey there. So it's Ron and Alex here to talk to you about testicular cancer in firefighters. We got a particular interest because, as you can see, I'm on the knob right there, or the hose line, as an average person would call it. And Mr. Tajan, would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, I'm on the left side at the one of my first fires I went to was at the Bourne Dump transfer station. It was on fire. In this picture, we're out of air and ended up being a tier one hazmat situation. So we were inhaling some toxins that we probably shouldn't have been.
Particularly vulnerable, considering the smoke penetrates, not only just you breathing it in, but it goes through your gear and is particularly
Yep,
dangerous.
absorbs in the skin.
Absolutely,
Usually
yeah.
towards
And as you can see on the right there, I'm slaying the dragon in an abandoned house. My first fire with Lunenburg. Getting to fight it. We've put the fire out. That's mostly steam, but I mean, there's still toxins in the air. So
see.
I took my mask off, and unfortunately, though, we did find sulfuric acid. So that's probably not too good for me to breathe in. So cancer-causing agent.
You can
when
see which
burning.
department's better because my structure's still standing there, Ron.
Well, yeah, you see, we pushed ours over with the hose. Yeah, it wasn't really too much left when we arrived, so we just finished the job with the demolition. All right, so our whole thought process or thesis behind this research that we're doing is that firefighters are at a particularly high risk for cancer. Alex?
Specifically testicular cancer, and we'll explain in later slides.
Yeah. Later on, you'll see some of the facts and research studies done by multiple agencies, but it's becoming a prevalent public health issue, and it's something that we wanna make you guys aware of. We had to pick a specific cancer, and we went with testicular just because we think it's going to be the most prevalent. We found it was the most prevalent among the studies. So, yeah, a little bit more to come. So, Alex, tell me a little bit about the testicular cancer.
Well, Ron, it's most common in American males between 15 and 35 years of age.
Really, how common is it?
Uh, it's there's it's one in every 263 males have the statistics to have it.
Is it deadly? Is it like gonna kill me if it happens?
No, most people survive 5 years with testicular cancer without knowing about it. There's a 95.4% survival rate.
Oh, really? Where are you getting these numbers?
We're getting all these numbers from the cancer.gov and most government agencies that are looking into this information. The American Joint Cancer Association as well.
Oh, really? So it's a pretty prevalent public health issue. What does testicular cancer mean for like the anatomy of it necessarily? Like where is it? Where does it occur? What's going on?
Well, they occur in the testicles and usually have an abnormal growth of cells that grow down there. Tumors can grow from them, and that's just due to the separation and reproducing of cells that weren't meant to be reproduced, and the cells that are dead are remaining alive in the sense that they're not dying off when they're supposed to be dying off.
Gotcha. Can this spread to anywhere else? Could this be like, if I get testicular cancer, next thing you know, I'm going to have lung cancer, I'm going to have heart cancer, I'm going to have brain cancer?
It can spread, and it very treatable, highly treatable, and the survival rates, like I said, again, 95.4%.
Oh, that's good. I mean, hopefully I'm not going to die, but I don't want to take my chances. All right, so Alex, why don't you tell us a little bit about how this whole cancer things work? We are in biology class, so try to keep it to some scientific terms.
Cancer is the name given. It has a collection of related diseases and with all sorts of types of different body cells that begin to divide without stopping, and they spread into surrounding tissues. These cancer-causing cells are usually involved with some like environmental exposures, like tobacco products, some smoke, chemicals, radiation. It usually has something to do with not having the proper protection
Oh,
equipment.
so it sounds kind of like my job as a firefighter.
It's absolutely related to it. And just
That's good.
recently in Massachusetts, it became an occupational hazard, and they recognized that cancer in the job is a job related injury.
Yeah. But what happens in that little cell there, that, like when cancer's going on? What's changing or what's different in a cancer cell than a regular one?
So in the cancer cells, it's like a corruption of the body cells. It makes certain cells reproduce when they're not supposed to, and it keeps the dead ones alive. So it just throws off your body chemistry and just spreads out to different parts of um, the body, and usually can cause like tumors to grow that are malignant or not. And it starts off with a normal phase. If you see on the bottom screen there, it goes from normal to this the tissue that they start calling hyperplasia. Then it goes to dysplasia, and then it goes into cancer, which are like your four different stages of your skin tissue and cells spreading apart and reproducing when they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, so that's just an example of one of the many types of cancers we could run into. Not specifically testicular, but a little overview of how cancer works. So we'll get on to the nitty gritty of firefighter factors coming up.
All right, Ron, why don't you explain some contributing factors firefighters and cancer and how they are exposed to these carcinogens?
Well, we're exposed at a higher rate to carcinogens because of products of combustion and smoke. Products of combustion stemming from an increased amount of petroleum products in a modern room compared to that of a legacy construction room, which is an older house. And some of those products of combustion is cyanide, sulfide, carbon monoxide, all things that are generally not good to have in your body in excessive amounts and can be cancer causing. So,
Well, don't the firefighters have PPE like Scott masks to go in? Do they
well,
not wear it?
we it's not even that we don't wear it. Even if we wore the Scott mask when we got off the truck until we got back to the firehouse, the smoke goes right through our gear. I mean, we're not wearing hazmat suits for every fire we go to, so that smoke gets up against your skin, and as we'll talk about later, the body can absorb that and such. Is a lack of awareness in the past about how dangerous smoke can be and how dangerous the product of combustion can be. As research starting to come out, and we're starting to take a look at just how many firefighters are dying of cancer or being diagnosed with cancer specifically, is it's every couple of weeks somebody's getting a diagnosis with cancer. So
Now, is this a problem with the new recruits coming out of the academy being trained differently from some of the more senior guys where they didn't have this certain technology?
a lot of the senior guys that have friends that have had cancer wish they wore their PPE a little bit better. Maybe we're a little bit smarter about it. So it's definitely a change in attitude. Definitely trying to get out of the complacency, trying to get more screenings and such, and be more aware of the products of combustion due to the modern construction, and the increased level of hazard. So back in the day, even the guys that didn't wear their mask, it wasn't as bad what they're breathing as what we're breathing now, or we're coming in contact even with. So yeah, we'll get into some of this more anatomical specificities later.
So, Ron, why is the testicular cancer one of the highest rates of cancer in firefighters? Is it just because it absorbs there better, or
Well, I mean, like I talked about before, we're exposed to hazardous environments, and as you talked about, hazardous environments play a big role into how cancer is genetically mutated into occurring. And so it's all about how much of those carcinogens are absorbed into our body. And, a lot of people think of breathing, which, lung cancer and such is a huge problem. But specifically, what's more common is cancer in the testes due to the absorption rate of the scrotal area. As you can see on the right there, this is pesticide research, but it goes for, just any airborne thing that can be absorbed through the skin through exposure. Your arms, your hands, stuff like that. The rate's lower, down by 1.0, 1.3 kind of thing, it gets up on your head like a 4.2 and a 5.4 rate, but down in the scrotal area, as you can see, it's substantially increased, and it's just very high absorption rate in the skin. And if you look on the left side, you can see some of that black lighting of just where, due to sweat and collection of the carcinogens on your body, or small particles, which is what those neon black light pictures are showing, is just where those small particles collect on your body, and those small particles can be the carcinogens from products of combustion and some of those environmental hazards that can be genetically mutating to the body. So absolutely, definitely an anatomy problem with how our body's functioning with higher absorption rate, and definitely a factor as to why the testicles are a particularly high risk for cancer. So recently, Congress passed a bill, the Firefighter Cancer Registry Act. So that's going to lead to huge amounts of research able to be done about firefighter cancer, because you're going to be able to register anytime a firefighter gets cancer. So statistics will go way up. The CDC and NIOSH did a study on cancer in U.S. firefighters through a cohort of about 30,000 people. That is pretty much the leading research project so far. British Medical Journal's posted in their Occupational Environmental Science, the NIOSH report. Johns Hopkins has done research in Maryland on firefighters, and the IAFF is continuing to support research to protect their firefighters, being the International Association of Firefighters. So, in conclusion, what we're going to say is that, testicular cancer, people are at particular risk. As you can see in the frequently asked questions from Firefighter Cancer Support Network, is which one is significantly higher. And as you can see, testicular is, 2 times the amount of chance of getting testicular cancer. So we definitely believe it's higher than the general population. Wouldn't you say so, Alex?
I would definitely say so, even though the mortality rate is not that high. It's just more common for firefighters to get cancer due to the extreme environments they're constantly working in.
Yeah, absolutely, and it can spread across the entire body. If you get it in your testes, it can go all over the body with the cancerous cells. So definitely something to be aware of, definitely a major health risk. I'm glad you guys listened to this. I hope you enjoyed. We're going to play a video from the Boston Fire Department that's raising awareness about cancer and fire service relationships.